Hello, in this video we're going to go through a brief introduction to operating systems and what we will be using them for. This will only touch on two operating systems, Windows and Ubuntu. So let's dive into it. Let's start with the question, what is Windows and why is it so commonly used? Windows operating system was born on November 20th, 1985, originally as a graphical user interface, or a GUI, for the existing operating system MS-DOS. MS-DOS didn't have any visuals, you could not drag and drop folders, you could not access anything visually. It relied fully on commands you send it to do an operation that you wanted to do. As you can imagine, this can be rather difficult to navigate as a visual learner. That's almost 70% of the entire population. Having these fancy visuals that we can interact with is a tremendous step forward for technology, especially in the 90s, where it only got better. Now we are here in 2024, we can put almost any operating system into almost any device. Technology has greatly advanced since the 80s and 90s, and so have the operating systems we run. Microsoft to this day continues to be a giant in the tech industry, especially for its operating system, Windows. This leads us to our next question that may, of course, change in the future. Why Windows? Of course, in my personal opinion, Windows is a good operating system that is user-friendly and has great compatibility across all of its release systems. It can do many things from simple accessibility tasks like Notepad and video players, all the way beyond developing the applications you use on a daily basis. It can host as a server, it can run Linux commands, and it can even read more languages than I even knew existed. But, can't all operating systems do this in the end? Somehow, some way? The answer is kind of. Some applications can only run on Windows because they were built for that system, just like many programs on Linux cannot be used on Windows, or Windows on Mac, and Mac on Windows, and so on and so forth, excluding emulation, of course. So you might ask, what Windows should we use? To answer that question, we must inspect what each different Windows offers and what is depreciated or removed that you might need for any projects moving forward. In the videos moving forward, I will be using Windows 10 as it offers the best compatibility at this time for what I need to do. In the future, we will come back and reevaluate this decision. When it comes to the installation of the latest Windows operating system, that can be found on Microsoft's website. Don't download from other sources. Unofficial sources could have modifications in it to steal your data or to even lock you out of your system after a certain time period. Don't risk getting a virus or getting scammed. Once you get through the user-friendly installation process, you'll be presented with your very own copy of Windows. So far, it has been announced that Windows 12 version will be released for free and will not require any subscriptions. This is very similar to Windows 10's release, where it was made free. Do not pay for something that is free. All the operating systems used in these videos are free. Now moving on to another operating system, we have Ubuntu. What is Ubuntu and why have I never heard of it? Well, Ubuntu is a free open source operating system based on Debian Linux. In my experience, I have found this to be the most user-friendly operating system for Linux. It has a wide compatibility rate for most popular applications and games. It even has Steam, which gives you Proton updates, which allows you to play various Steam games on your system, on your Ubuntu system. Ubuntu was first released in 2004 as Warty Warthog and has been in constant development ever since. In the videos moving forward that use Ubuntu operating system, we'll be using Ubuntu 22.04. This is the Jammy Jellyfish update. This is what we call a long-term support, or an LTS version. If we decide to upgrade later on, we'll make a separate guide for that. The installation is quite easy for Ubuntu. It might even be easier than Windows since it has far less bloatware and additional applications to go through. I always recommend the minimal installation as it offers exactly what we need to do without any extras. Third-party updates are also a good option to check if you're going to require it. I did. Again, Ubuntu is a free operating system. Do not pay for it and only download it from the official website. If this version is no longer available, that is okay. You can always get the latest long-term support version of Ubuntu, and it should work just the same, as long as your applications or libraries are not completely depreciated. At the end of the day, we're not picking one operating system to work with, we are picking two. Both these operating systems together will be exactly what we require to move forward with all the laid out projects. Check the next video for getting started with networking and how we will be using the basics of networking to start up our own servers.